Texas Cancer Research Institute. This will be a big one for the folks over in the Temple Bioscience Institute and the cancer research folks over there. It'll be a big one in Houston, Dallas, big medical centers. Texas is waging war on cancer, and the first installment on that is $450 million in research funds. It's a part of a 10-year program, about $300 billion. No, 30 billion, I think. Anyway, a lot of money. It'll raise lots of bonds for cancer research in Texas. Water, boy. We had a big water bill last session, and this session going again. The folks up in Northeast Texas hate the thought of taking their property for reservoirs. The folks in Dallas-Fort Worth say we got to have the reservoirs to impound the water that we need for the growing metroplex area in Dallas-Fort Worth. And depending on which side of that you're on, it's just, they say that gold and silver and cattle are for fighting over, and water's for killing over. And the Texas legislature, water is just an issue beyond your wildest degree of contention. We are so fortunate to have these lakes around us and have a supply of water here. I think you'll see at least one more reservoir built in the not too distant future in Northeast Texas, and that will hopefully relieve the water problem some in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Homeland and border security, for those of you that haven't been down in that area, the transnational gang business is really scary, folks. Norma Chavez, one of the representatives from El Paso, has folks living in her home part-time. So they come over, stay in her house part-time, because they're going to be killed if they're on the other side of the border. And the gangs are now coming across and actually conducting raids on police stations and little towns. They're folks who were trained, a lot of them by our military. And so they found that the drug lords would pay better than the Mexican military did. And so now they're escorting drug shipments of human trafficking, and they're coming over onto our side of the river occasionally now. And combating these transnational gangs is a major endeavor. It should be a totally federal project. Unfortunately, there's not enough federal money to do it, and there's not always good coordination between federal and state resources. And so what we're trying to do is improve those resources that are available along the border. About $113.2 million this biennium. That's following $100+ million last biennium as well. So it's a lot of money involved, and lots of concern along our border, folks. You can be glad where you live. It's not pretty down there. This one got to be an interesting bill. This is the bill that exempts 100% permanently and totally disabled veterans from property tax. If you remember about 2 years ago, you had a proposition on the amendment where it was like 85% approval rate or 90% approval rate across the state that says veteran service-connected disability, 100% disabled, taking off property tax roll. Many of you voted on that, I'm sure. We didn't have any enabling legislation. We passed the constitutional amendment, but did not enable the actual. We did not pass the enabling legislation to do that. So this time we started through that. We were in the midst of the process to pass that enabling legislation when the chubbing started for that 5-day meltdown. And the bill was bound to die. It was going to die with all other good bills that week. And John Otto, a man from Dayton, Texas, had a bill over in the Senate that was subject to amendment. It was the germanius issue. For those of you politics is a big deal. Did we just die off completely?
I think the battery died. Is it on battery?
No. Oh, what? Yeah, maybe. I didn't plug it up. In that black box there's a plug. Anyway, John very thoughtfully said, I have a bill that's over in the Senate, and it's subject to amendment by this bill. And so he trots over to the Senate, talks to the senator, and amends on the veterans tax exemption language onto a some things that didn't get done. We'll get a list back up, maybe if it comes back up here shortly. The thing that bogged the session down was the voter ID bill. Now, and it's purely partisan. Let me say that right up front. This issue is a purely partisan issue. All the D's say voter ID is crazy, just about, and all the R's say voter ID is essential. The reason it is such a controversial issue in the Texas legislature, both sides have done research and know that R's would gain between 5 and 7 seats in the Texas House if you had voter ID. Now the D's know that, the R's know that. And then you roll it forward one more step to 2011, and you come to congressional redistricting. If there's about 5 to 7 more R's in the Texas House in 2011, then you would send about 8, perhaps 9 additional R's to Congress in Washington. So it shouldn't surprise you when you think about the long-term play of that, why that issue was so contentious. Everybody said, well, why are they fighting over voter ID? Everybody, if you poll Texans, about 70% of them think voter ID is an okay thing, but it's not a high priority issue to anybody, hardly. Unless you're in that decision-making group that says, we get this many House members or we get this many House members. And it becomes a very key issue. And because of that, if you'll hit view and slideshow up the top, there you go. Now let me click back through those things. We'll go over that in a minute. But the issue bogged the session down at the end. There were those 5 days that we lost. And this wasn't any way around it. I mean, it was one of those deals that was probably not high on the list of priorities for people in the state of Texas, but it was high on the list of people who reviewed how things would be in Washington, D.C. in a few years. And so it was an odd situation. Let me just go through some of these and tell you a little bit about them. That 25, these things that we got passed. And the neat thing about it was I got them passed before the meltdown, which was nice. 2512 allowed teachers with grievances to do recordings. That had been unclear whether they had recording privileges or not, and let them do that. 2527 regulated commercial fertilizer. We had a situation where, for example, our house might have one set of regulations, Killeen had a different set of regulations, and the people doing garden fertilization had to comply with different sets of regulations, different cities. We did one size fits all statewide.